Hi all, it's Jackie,
And Jessica.
and we're here to talk a little bit about the current energies and the Ascension process.
Absolutely. So happy full moon, nice full moon in the energy of Leo. We've got the sun in the energy of Aquarius, and of course Mercury is going retrograde in the energy of Aquarius on the 30th as well. So we've got some nice polar opposite energy flowing through. Of course, there are only aspects. We're going to talk about it in a very general way because astrology is very, very profound. And to generalize it really does no service. So just know that what we're talking about is just one piece of a very, very big picture. And so the intention is to create more awareness around how this energy can show up in the psyche, how it can show up externally, and really how it's unique to you. So when we look at full moon energy, it's for us to, I would say, look at what we can shed light on. And moon energy is very much, or the function of moon is that feeling within us, that connection, what helps us feel connected, and how we protect, right? It's connected, it rules the energy of Cancer. And it being in the sign of Leo, it's looking to fulfill the needs of Leo. And so what are some of those needs? To be validated, to be admired, right? Leo in the psyche is like our time of adolescence. And very fun and romantic and playful energy, and can be noble and wants to recognize the beauty in others so that others can also recognize the beauty of them. And so we also have the sun in the sign of Aquarius, which is the opposite of Leo in the traditional zodiac. And Aquarius, rather than being about self and validating self and identifying self, is all about the group and the community and awakening. The need of Aquarius is to awaken, to enlighten, to liberate. And so we're looking at higher perspectives. We're looking at the holistic perspective of life, of community, of good cause, or getting together for a good cause, or collective cause, right? It's ruled by Uranus, so it can be quick and shocking sometimes, the way that it makes things happen. And so we have sun in Aquarius, moon in Leo, so we've got this beautiful polar opposite going on through our psyche. And of course, however your chart shows up and what connection you have to these planets and signs is unique to you. Yet what I see is like this differentiator between self-identity and how I identify myself within this group, within doing good for the collective. And then of course with Mercury going retrograde in this energy of Aquarius, again, the planet is a function. It's looking to fulfill the need of the sign that it's in, right? So again, the sign of Aquarius is looking to liberate, to be free, to awaken, to enlighten. The archetypes of Aquarius are, sometimes the mad scientist or the genius, right? The rebel, the revolutionary. Yeah, but also that energy that helps us break free of the status quo, right? Whereas this Leo energy, we might be feeling it more internally of like, how do I express myself in a creative, fun way? And how do I find this identity, connected to the group setting? So the function of Mercury is to communicate, to learn, to investigate, to report. It rules Gemini and Virgo. So in the sign of Aquarius, I see it as moving very quickly. Personally, that's just how I perceive it. And it's like quick changes in perspective, learning how to view things from a more holistic view, the bigger picture. How do I awaken here? How do I enlighten? How do I connect with my community? What's going on in the community? How do I connect differently? How do I help others break free of this, if there's any mental slavery, right? Because Aquarius is an air sign, fixed air sign, yang, so it can carry more of a masculine, assertive energy, direct energy. And so we were talking about, just shifts in perspective in this moment in time. So how we can work with this, let's say, Aquarius energy of enlightenment, of awakening, in a personal way, where we're internalizing it and integrating it, but also finding this connection with our community, to break free of any status quo, of anything that's been holding us back mentally. I would say is what's coming to mind, just because Mercury very much is connected with the mind. Yeah.
It's very cool. I absolutely love the signs and the energy behind Leo and Aquarius, and I feel like the two of them can actually work really, really beautifully together, especially in terms of redefining self and purpose here in relation to others, self, and the community. So what's been coming up for me has sort of been that in terms of our chakra systems, what are we looking at here? It feels a lot like solar plexus, which is where we're redefining how we show up in this world. So sometimes that can mean that our perceptions about who we are and how we've previously defined ourselves are shifting suddenly. And that's huge. That feels like a full moon energy where that light has shone down and sort of revealed something new to self too. And I think given the motion of the planets and where we're at in this moment, to just be gentle with yourself through that process, absolutely. And maintaining some of those Aquarian values too, where it's like, how is this going to serve the greater good? How can I show up in that revolutionary sense, that open-minded sense as well? Yeah.
Yeah. And along with this ascension process, we've been talking and learning a bit about this energy of divine truth and divine will coming in more and more. So we know that we're a free will planet, and so for a long time we've worked with our own free will, and some have affected the free will of others. We know that as control energy or manipulation or whatever. Anytime we're without permission going into someone else's free will, is essentially a manipulation of energy. And so with more and more divine will coming in and more divine truth coming in, we're shedding that. So going back to this Leo energy too, because it's very much connected to the ego, and so is the solar plexus.
Sure.
So what does it look like? What does it feel like when we're allowing divine truth and divine will to flow through us, rather than our egoic self to flow through and create?
It's almost like uncharted territory. It can feel like a bit unfamiliar at first. So we were just talking about this earlier in terms of what it actually feels like when we're allowing divine will to flow through us versus that personal will that we've had all this time, that we're working on establishing and understanding our own free will to then give it to the divine.
That's true surrender.
it's true surrender,
Yeah.
and it takes such an element of faith and trust in something. I don't want to just say outside of ourselves, because I feel like it's also within ourselves, but it is apart from our egoic definitions, and it is more of, like, if you consider it universe, source, God-based. And kind of, it's sort of like when we're saying, like, okay, give it to God, that sort of thing. That requires releasing control. That requires releasing manipulation. That requires asking to set the ego aside so that that energy, that divine will, can flow right through and assisting, guiding in that moment in time.
Yeah, and another piece to that too is that it takes away the need to be validated for the work that's being done, right? Because again, Leo energy, that's its need, right? Because it's ruled by the sun, so it's always shining, right? Out of all the energy within the zodiac, Leo tends to be the most likable because it's here, it's present, it's the performer, and so we get to work with that energy, right? Because we also want to be able to identify ourselves in a creative way, in an expressive way, where we're unique in that. What's important is that it's done from a very authentic way, and in a way that it's going to serve the collective, rather than, oh, I get to get validated for this, or I want to be seen, right? So it's like checking in with that also, I would say.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and like learning more about the zodiac because of you, kind of recognizing where each sign falls in terms of psyche and age group. And so when I connect that Leo energy, which I have some, to that like teenage years, those high school years where we're defining ourselves based on our peer group, we're defining ourselves based on like we're choosing our identity in that moment in time, like how we wear our hair, what kind of clothes we wear, are we with like the jocks or with the nerds, like where do we fall in line here? That's super like Leo energy. But it's also within each and every one of us, because we've all gone through that process. And so we're learning how to work with that in a more, I would say, like Aquarian sense now, where it's like, okay, now how do we define this in a whole other like
unconventional way?
Like status quo out the window,
yes.
like it's gone, which is so freeing, and yet in a sense that can be that can cause us to be a bit of deer in headlights at times.
Yeah, so funny. So you know, on a personal level, actually we both have Mercury in Aquarius, which is interesting in our personal charts. Mine happens to be in the 5th house, which is the house of Leo and the sun. So it's almost like I'm constantly in this integration of opposites. Actually, when I look at my chart, that's quite the case. And so Mercury in Aquarius could be quirky. It's unconventional. You know, sometimes we make jokes of like how nerdy we sound with like stupid stuff, but it's true. It because Aquarius energy is a lot more free. There's no there's less and less fear of how others are going to perceive me, because that validation isn't needed. So it's more of a I just need to express this because it's who I am, and that's it. I'm this revolutionary person, or I'm a rebel, or however, I'm the free spirit. That's another archetype for Aquarian energy. So when I perceive Mercury in Aquarius, it's quite personal, and you know, we always joke, it's just we'll be like hashtag Mercury in Aquarius when we say something really nerdy, or like just. Again, the word that comes up is unconventional. It is unconventional. It's quite different.
It's cool. I mean, but that's great. Like, we
have fun with that.
Have fun with it. Like maybe I describe my feelings in terms of like a piece of food. Like I feel like a mashed potato today. She knows what I mean because I'm Mercury in Aquarius. So it's all right to just explore these even further and recognize them within yourselves. Have a laugh over it.
Yeah, definitely. Excellent. And so in terms of the ascension process, our planet is shifting and we're shifting. And if you're familiar at all with the Schumann resonance, just you all may already know that it's been up and down quite a bit, like a roller coaster. On Friday the 22nd, we hit about 6,000 hertz, which is a record. Some people were out of commission, had to like lay flat on the ground just because there was so much energy and needed some time to integrate. I connected with people that had physical discomfort and even like medical accidents or medical emergencies, which was quite different. And so we just wanted to check in, and if you're not familiar with the Schumann resonance, definitely take a look at it, take a look at what it means and how it's connected to us and our planet. Essentially, it is the measurement of the planet's frequency or heartbeat, let's say, where its base is 7.83 hertz. And we've just seen record numbers of what the amplitude has gone up to. So we know it affects us. We can feel it. We can see it in others too when it's happening. And so we just wanted to touch base in case we do see some numbers go up, how to just check in with body and self to make sure that you're integrating and allowing yourself to feel the feels.
Feel the feels. Yeah, the body's speaking. It will guide you to what feels the most right for you. Sometimes it is sort of getting to a lower center of gravity, which is like being on the ground, sitting or laying flat. But it also is reminding me very much of like that phrase, like, you bought the ticket, take the ride. Like, we're here. This is where we learn to surrender to divine will a bit when we have no control over the Schumann resonance, these spikes happening when they're up, when they're down. But we do get to recognize what within ourselves that feels like and what practices we can incorporate to sort of ease some of that roller coaster feeling a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so definitely some water. Stay hydrated.
Always a good idea.
Yeah, if you feel the need to rest and lay low, do so. Listen to the body. Appetite might be a little funky. You may feel hungry but have no appetite. It's weird. It's like an interesting sensation, I would say. It's like the body, like sometimes the digestion can take away from the processing of the energy. So it's like the body doesn't want many solids or heavy foods. You may be drawn to like more of a smoothie or green juice, whatever feels good for the body. Any supplements that can help the nutrition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I do feel like culturally it can be a bit of a mind game, because we feel like, oh, if I'm eating, I'm good, like, or I gotta have the 3 meals a day and that sort of thing. And so when our bodies are asking for like maybe some intermittent fasting or just sort of taking it a little easier on certain food groups, we do get to listen. Just, it's something to try on your own, listening to your body, what feels good in that moment versus what you've always done. Yeah, a little trial and error.
Yeah. And then, what are you feeding self in terms of what you're watching, reading, listening to, all of it? We talk about this quite a bit of disentangling from some of those lower frequency things, whether it's someone's posting this or, you saw the news article about that, like really, really choosing to stay in that heart space and connect, because we're a part of this experience, yet disentangle, connect with what makes you feel empowered, right? What makes you feel vitalized, what charges you up, what lights you up. And if it's not that news article, if it's not what that person posted, or you're ready to like send out an angry message, take a step back, take a breather. Really, really connect with the heart space through breath. That's one of the best ways to connect to the heart. And disentangle. It's, yeah.
it's something, it's like a daily reminder. And the other piece there is that when we're talking about identity and things like that, when we're still kind of reforming that within ourselves and understanding those concepts of divine will as well, when we're seeking external information all of the time, sometimes it's like we're being told who we are and what we're doing, and because of this and that, the other thing, and hey, I don't know many people are going to tell you, like, but hey, tune into yourself. Just tune into yourself, and it's okay to go offline. It's okay to limit stimulation, and kind of be in a little bit of solitude while redefining self, while allowing that to unfold. It's more of a process of unfoldment, I feel.
It sure is. All right, that's what's coming to mind for me. So all the best on this journey, right? It's what a beautiful time to be on this planet. I always say that it's an interesting time, blessed to be here. And if we can assist you at all on your ascension journey, on your spiritual path, we're here.
We love to hear your comments. We love to hear where you're at, what you're experiencing. It really helps us all to connect in a whole other way. So please feel free to comment below.
Yes. Oh, one more. Dream time.
Oh.
Yeah, if dream time has been interesting, I think we've shared this the last time, I don't remember, but it's possible, because dream time has been really, really lively and connected with people that I know. So it's been kind of like the experience with those around us and me, and so if something's coming up for you in the sense of dream time, would love to read about it, hear about it, share, and it might help someone else as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, peace.